But being a content creator that has created content specifically for fat people and then turn the flip because you feel like this community was so toxic is one thing. Like, for you to think that the community is toxic is fine. Like, no community is perfect, obviously. And I think that now creating content that trolls fat people, whether you see it as that or not, is descarada. I don't even know how to say it, how to explain it, but it's just like you have no shame.
Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we're going to be talking about a TikTok that was sent to me many times by many different people. And this is the TikTok right here. And so this is Jessica Torres. And in this TikTok, she kind of talks about how, as you can tell kind of by the title here, it says, "No one hates fat people more than fat people." And then in the description, it says, "There are truly no safe spaces for fat people." So this whole video is kind of talking about the uptick that we've seen, which we've talked about quite a bit, of people that were formerly in the fat acceptance or fat activist movement, fat positivity, body positivity movement, that have left, that are maybe talking about that movement and maybe their bad experiences within that. And so she kind of goes and shares her experience as someone that's still in the movement. And so I thought it would be good to, share this video. I feel like she is a little bit more nuanced than other people. And so I felt like it was a good video to kind of talk about. So without further ado, let's get into it.
I'm still trying to figure out how you go from promoting self-acceptance, body positivity, fat activism, to creating content that trolls fat people. I'm trying to find the connection on how that happened.
I think like the connection can be people. For me, the way I see it is a lot of people are looking for acceptance and they're looking for community. And so I think a lot of people end up finding community within fat acceptance or within body positivity. And a lot of times it ends up being people that maybe haven't had that community or haven't been able to find that community before, because the truth is when you are bigger, a lot of times you are unfairly criticized or ostracized from different points of, life in general, especially like as you're younger, when you're in high school. I think we all know, those of us that were bigger in high school, it feels at least that you are ostracized and othered. And so you end up really looking for a place to fit in. And a lot of times that place ends up being, especially for young women, the fat acceptance movement. And so I think that's where it kind of comes from, is that they get really, really heavy into it. Maybe they have certain issues that kind of push them out of it. And then they feel completely ostracized from the community that they felt that they were a part of, right?
Now, I truly believe that if you want to be on Ozempic, Wegovy, whatever it is that you want to be on, you should. And sorry, my light died, so I had to put on the big one. Like I was saying, I do believe that if you want to be on Wegovy, Ozempic, you should be on it. It's your right. It's your body. I think a lot of the reason why...
This is so interesting that is brought up right there, right? Like if you want to be on Ozempic, if you want to be on Wegovy, that's fine. I think it's because a lot of people, and this is where I think a lot of people feel like I'm like completely against these weight loss drugs. I'm definitely not. I think a lot of people that truly have felt that it was impossible for them to lose weight, maybe they've tried their whole life, they are finding success in losing weight with these medications, and it's almost opening them up to a whole new possibility for themselves. I think a lot of times people that were maybe part of the fat acceptance community, they almost accepted that was the best they could do. That kind of sounds mean. I don't mean it to be mean, but it's like they accepted that maybe this is the best that I can do, and so I will make the best out of the situation that I'm in. And then they found these other alternatives that maybe make it so they can have a better quality of life or live a life that they've wanted to, but they have resigned to the fact that maybe it's just not for them. So these medications have allowed them to do that, and I think that's why we're seeing so many more people kind of stepping out of this, fat acceptance movement, because they are realizing that they actually have a chance to have a life outside of it.
You're seeing a lot of fat content creators come up and say, hey, I don't want to be fat anymore, or I hate being fat, and I'm going to do everything that I can to be away from that community, is because a lot of you guys didn't really understand what actual body positivity was and what true fat activism is. I think this comes from
So this is interesting because it's coming from a very specific point of view. Like, this is how I view how things should be. But again, just because this is your feeling that doesn't mean that everyone that was maybe part of the community feels the same exact way you do. And I don't feel like trying to force them to feel that way, or else they're not allowed to be part of the community, is going to cause any more people to want to be part of that community. It feels very much so like you have to be part of the fat activism community because of this reason and this reason and this reason, not because of anything that's actually happened to you personally or these personal feelings that you have. It has to be about the systemic and systematic oppression. And if that's not the main thing, then like we don't want you. You're not worth it for us, right? Because you're just going to, stab us in the back. Again, this is why I can understand why people, when they say they got out of it, they realized how toxic and how much it felt like you had to think a very specific way. And if you felt any different way, you were kicked out basically, and you were shunned, right?
Very basic, superficial idea that you're supposed to love your body no matter how big you are, no matter how small you are, when in reality, we were all fighting for equality in body sizes, whether it was in the fashion industry, whether it was in doctor offices. We all wanted to have the same care. Fat people know that when you go into an office, no matter what the ailment, no matter what the condition you may be talking about, your weight is always the main reason that you are spoken to, or the main problem that needs to be fixed.
Now, I completely agree with what she's saying here. And so there's really not much that I am going to push back on, because I've talked about many times with the fat acceptance community or fat activism. One of the main points that I strongly agree with is treating fat people better inside of doctor's offices, because I think any of us that have been bigger, that have been to a doctor's office, that have been treated not very great, know how ostracizing it is and how much it makes you not want to ever go back to that doctor. And so, again, I completely understand this, and I don't have anything negative to say about these points.
Out of what you say. But being a content creator that has created content specifically for fat people, and then turn the flip because you feel like this community was so toxic, is one thing. Like, for you to think that the community is toxic is fine. Like, no community is perfect, obviously. And I think that now creating content that trolls fat people, whether you see it as that or not, is descarada. I don't even know how to say it, how to explain it, but it's just like you have no shame.
I can understand, like, I definitely think that there are different levels, and I personally try my best not to be that person that's just trolling fat people. I try to share other people's experiences and try to understand where people are coming from. I'm sure that she has very specific people in mind. I wish that she would use the names. I feel like that would be a lot more helpful, but maybe she just doesn't want to start drama. But I'm sure that there's very specific people that she's thinking of, but I do think that there absolutely are ways to be like, hey, this community and this way of thinking is not helpful long term, without being like an ex-fat hater. And I think that that's one of the biggest things that has caused so much division, is like there has been a name for years now for people that used to be bigger that now have lost weight. That name is ex-fat, right? That's what I've been labeled. I've seen many comments calling me that as a derogatory term. When I see that, that does not make me feel like this community is actually going to listen to what I'm saying, or even believe in the struggles that I had, or believe in the things that I'm trying to share, the good, positive messages, because I have been labeled as this negative, right? I am an ex-fat, and all ex-fats are the same, which I obviously disagree with. There are some people that have left, I'm sure, that are assholes, right? That are acting like dicks. I'm sure that's possible, right? And I'm sure that's happening right now. But there are also plenty of other people that have left that have had terrible experiences, that realize that their health was being affected, that want to help other people, and they are being labeled the same as these people that are maybe being mentioned in this video. And who knows, maybe this video is about someone exactly like me. I don't know, right? But it's frustrating to be lumped into the same exact category as someone maybe doing something that I don't agree with.
I repeat, no one cares the reasons of what you do with your body. When we were talking about activism, body neutrality, whether it be body positivity or fat activism, what we were all trying to do is create a sense of equality when it came to laws, when it came to the options that we've received in the fashion industry, and proper care for fat people. But for you, or for those people that you see that are now going against fat people, it was all about being superficially okay with yourself. And I'm not blaming them. I'm not blaming anyone. I think it's the lack of knowledge. And as a fat person, I do recommend that you do all the research that you can on what it is to be a fat person, aside from your own personal experience, the politics behind it.
Again, this is like, I don't disagree with what she's saying. Like, she can have those feelings and feel those certain ways, and like that's why she got into, you know, being more into the activism thing. But like, you cannot expect everyone to have the same exact feelings as you. You just can't, right? And so like, you have to understand that there are going to be plenty of people that are in the same spaces as you that might not think the same exact way as you, or might not feel the same exact way as you. They maybe were in the fat activism because they maybe really did truly wish that they could lose weight, not in some terrible way that like they feel like fat people are terrible and disgusting and they are disgusting because they're fat, but they maybe have genuine issues with their weight. It's causing them genuine issues, maybe pains or whatever, but they just felt for whatever reason it was not possible. Losing weight wasn't an option, and so let me make this as bearable for myself as possible. And then maybe they found a way. Maybe it was weight loss surgery. Maybe they did it quote unquote naturally. Maybe they used Ozempic. Maybe they used another way to lose the weight, and then they realized, I don't have to live my life at 70%. I can live it at 100%. And then they want to share that message with other people. That doesn't make them a bad person, in my opinion. That makes them someone that had an experience and they want to share that experience with other people. Can you do it in a way that's not super over the top and like being mean? Of course. And I try to do that myself, but I can't expect everyone to act the same way as me. And so I don't expect that, right?
Can be very helpful. And a lot of the women that I see are white women. And to me, it's so obvious the privilege that you carry, that you can make it okay to flip a button one day and just be like, this is it. Now I hate being fat and I hate everyone that's fat. And you may not be saying that.
Again, that's the saying, right? Because she's going to say you're not, let's listen.
Out loud. But
okay, so you might not be saying that out loud, but saying that in this video, that is such a like, that's such a bad faith thing to do, because that makes it seem like, oh, you know, I'm not saying that you're actually saying that, but I have decided, and everyone in this community has decided, that that's what this means. That being, you know, trying to share the news of you being able to lose weight or whatever is the same as you saying, I hate fat people and I hated being fat and fat people are gross. It's not the same thing. Like, if someone is saying that, yes, I would agree, they're being a dick. Like, that's not cool. But most people aren't saying that. And so it's just so frustrating, because that ends up being the narrative, that maybe there's like 5% of people that are doing that, maybe less. But then it's like everyone else is lumped into that because, oh, see, this is what all expats are like. This is how everyone acts. It's just so frustrating, man. Like, all the nuance is taken out of this situation, and it's boiled down to, oh, you're not fat anymore. You must hate fat people and like think they're all disgusting. It's like, where is that coming from? Like let's tag people. Let's talk about who exactly is doing this. Who are the exact people that you have problems with, and what are the exact issues? That would be so much more helpful than this like blanket statement that doesn't call anyone out, that doesn't actually address the exact things that you have issues with. Like, I can understand maybe not wanting to get into drama, but then now you're going to have, and I've seen it in the comments, like if we look at the comments here, it's just a bunch of people tagging other people. Not going to tag Remy Joe, Shiny by Nature too, unfortunately. It's just like people speculating of who this could be about, which I feel like ends up doing more damage anyway. So why not just say who and what are the actual issues here?
Your actions, your comments, and the like comments that you do are saying it for you. And before I go, what I was just trying to say, but I'm not sure if I did say it correctly, please don't tag anyone who you think this video is about. I originally was
That's funny, because the top comments are people tagging other people.
gonna stitch someone who created content recently trolling fat people and them being a fat person. But then I decided that I don't want to create negativity, but start a good conversation and talk about why is it that even if for you personally you need to lose weight for whatever reason it is, because I again don't care if that's something that is with you and your doctor, no one else, but why do you have to?
So again, why, like, you say you don't care, but maybe there are other people that do care, that are interested in that. And so sharing that information, it almost feels like if you lose weight, just don't talk about it. You're not allowed. It's almost like you're not allowed to talk about it. And if you talk about it at all, you are seen as an enemy. And I think that's just ridiculous. Like, people have their experiences and they should be able to share those experiences.
Attack a community that you made so much money off of and created a platform off of. But just keep that in mind. And I hope that those people who are still trying to find some peace within their issues with body, that you get the proper care that you need, whether it's a therapist, doctor, even just talking to a friend. I hope that you keep yourself in a sane, safe place, and I wish you all the best.
So, like, again, all of those things can be 100%, those could be totally fair things to do to, be more comfortable in the body that you're in or whatever. But I feel like another thing could be just wanting to lose weight or taking better care of your health. Those things have benefits. And it's almost like this community is like, don't talk about the benefits of losing weight ever, because that is negative and that makes us feel bad. And like, if that makes you feel bad, again, that's a problem that you have to deal with. Like, I don't think that other people should have to like kind of pussyfoot around and not talk about what has made them and helped them feel better if it is something like losing weight. But I just wanted to share that video. I'm genuinely curious what other people have to think. So let me know down in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.